Now I just got my hand on a level 70 JinHsi, and this unit is an absolute power creep. I think this unit is a massive step up compared to any characters we have in this game by far, and so this is why I like to refer to as the Gen 2 unit, meaning that they are the non-starting unit in the game. And allow me to explain what does that really mean, as well as my first overall impression. But before that, I would like to start you off with her summon animation. But just before that, remember to subscribe to the video, and I stream regularly on Twitch, and so follow me over there as well. Let's get started. Oh! Nice. Okay, we got her. Wait, this summon animation. What is this summon animation? If you were paying close attention, you will immediately notice that her summon animation, as well as her overall gameplay animation, is a massive step up compared to any other unit we have in this game by far. In the previous game, Punishing Great Raven, there exists a time where all the unit released after a certain period of time were so much stepped up in their animation, their gameplay styles, as well their damage. And the Punishing Great Raven community often refer to these characters as Generation 2 unit, or Gen 2 unit, which means any unit released after this point were just so much better in both the animation and gameplay aspect, but also the damage. And it really feels like that this is the beginning of the Gen 2 unit right now. Now, in my experience of playing JinHsi, she's actually a pretty quick swappy playstyles character, kind of like Havoc Rover or Encore. Majority of her damage seems to come from her skills, and then her ults, which does just a massive amount of damage. Again, kind of like Havoc Rover a lot. She's a character with extremely good AoE potential, not only that her attack kind of continuously stagger enemy in a small AoE fashion radius, both her damage heavy hitting skills, which is her skill, and her ult, both have like pretty decent AoE range. Now in this first impression video, I want to stick to the basic. I want to talk about things like, is this character fun to play, is this character satisfying to play, or is this character like hard to play and require like too many demand, which you see that's completely true in this case of JinHsi, and I'll talk about that later. With that being said, this video is not like a complete guide where we're going to talk about her best combo, since those will take time to figure it out. 1 week later, someone in China is probably going to be like, oh, this is actually the secret combo that is the best, this is probably the secret team. So there's no point of me really going over them right now. I'll give you like a brief things I think run well and work well. But for the complete guide, we're going to develop that a little later. So make sure you subscribe to the channel for a complete guide follow-up in the week later. With that being said, let's head over to the training room. JinHsi has two attack forms, the basic attack form and then her incarnation form. JinHsi's basic attack form, it's actually pretty basic. It doesn't really do a lot. Her skill in the basic attack form is just a quick dash. For the most part, you're probably going to be only using this form in your very first rotation to build your very first outro. But otherwise, for the most part, you're going to play into incarnation form. The one thing to be really careful in your basic form is that her attack is actually really slow. And this could be really messy for your parry timing. You can enter incarnation by casting 4 basic attack and then casting your skills. And this will put you into incarnation form, where you can kind of float in the air a little bit. You'll be able to tell you're in incarnation form because your attack are going to be different, in addition to the fact that you now have a dragon on your forte bar. While you're in incarnation, you can do up to 4 basic attack. There's no way around it, you can only do 4 basic attack at most. And then your incarnation form will end. One of the biggest things you'll notice that as long as you keep attacking, you will be able to hover in the air. This is really massive against bosses with aerial mobility like the monkey, because it means you can tech chase them into the air and continue to DPS them. By the way, can we talk about how quick this POWERCREEP Ling Yang, because previously this was his specialty and now another character can do it. Why did I make this Ling Yang character? When you finish your reincarnation form, you can get a special skills, which is the Dragon Breath skill. This is actually where your majority is going to come from, and this signifies the end of your entire rotation. Your Empowered Dragon Breath skill will do more damage based on your stacks. So this is the number of stacks you have right now, it's indicated on your 4K circuit. And when you attack an enemy, you gain 1 stack, and you can gain up to 50 stacks. Now the trick here is that you can only get 1 stack every 3 seconds. So I get a stack here, and I attack again, I do not get any stacks. But the main gimmick here is that you can get stacks when your teammate attack as well, even though if they're not on field. It is worth noting that after triggering the Dragon Breath effect, your next switch is actually going to be considered to be a outro intro, even though if your concerto energy is not full. This means if you have full concerto energy, you can actually stack this to do a intro outro, switch back to JinHsi, and then do another intro outro, one with the special effect, while the other one with your regular concerto energy. Do you know that you can only trigger this effect once every 25 seconds, so you might not get this on every rotation. JinHsi outro is extremely important to trigger. That is because it reduces your stacks from getting 1 every 3 seconds to 1 every 1 second. So this will build up your stacks a lot quicker for your Empower Resonance skills. This is why I recommend people to build their outro on their first rotation, just because it is so important, and make sure you're doing outro on every single rotation. Finally, let's talk about her ult. And then her ults just go boom. Yeah. Oh, by the way, can we talk about this insane echo piece I just rolled for her? Because majority of her damage come from her skills, and you also want to have enough energy recharge for her ult. And then on this free cost onset spectral damage bonus piece, I got crit rate, I got crit damage, I got attack, and I also got skill damage bonus. So well, look like I'm maining her now. With that being said though, I want to talk about her gameplay. I think there's a lot of good things, but also some things are not as great. For one, she's easy to play, but also really hard to play. Wait, what does that really mean? JinHsi has an extremely simple rotation. You do an intros, do your skills to get into your incarnation, attack 5 times for your 4 basic attack, followed by your final heavy attack damage, and then you cast your skills. The reason why I say she's really easy to play is because she has a static rotation every single time. Her attack basically doesn't change. You can't change them during the incarnation form. And they have really big range, really big AoE. Plus, on top of the auto-targeting on your skill and your ult, you basically just need to click your button and you can't ever miss, no matter how far you are. Due to the massive auto-targeting range, you can hit parry actually pretty easily during your reincarnation form. And dodging during your reincarnation form isn't a problem from what I have seen compared to the other air-walking character Ling Yang. I was kind of afraid of dodging in the air to be a problem, just like the previous characters, but it has been pretty smooth, pretty responsive so far. Now, you notice that I'm currently using the Spectral Echo Morning Axe. That's because I haven't played the story yet and unlocked the Jew Echo. But you definitely want to be using the Jew Echo because you can use that in the air, and it just comes out a lot quicker. So that's the reason why I use it at the end of the rotation instead. Oh, by the way, speaking of Echo, obviously you want the 5-piece Celestial Light set. And just in case you forgot, you want to check out my really cool piece on Stead. If you're asking me what is the recommended stat, then here you go. It's going to be, well, spectral damage bonus on your free cost, and then as always, like attack and crit on your 1/4 cost. But for your substat, attack, crit rate, crit damage, which are the default, and then skill damage, because that's where majority of your damage come from, the Dragon Breath, followed by energy recharge. Nope, that is my overall recommendation for your pieces. Again, just like this one. With that being said, I want to talk about her biggest problem, which is going to be that she is very demanding in terms of your team composition and your team rotation. The biggest contributor to this is the way her stacks works. Once again, every single time your party do a damage instant, you get 1 stacks. But when you do a coordinated attack, you actually get 2 stacks instead of 1 stacks, which is double. But on top of that, coordinated attack are just easier to build stacks with because you don't have to be attacking on that characters. So by doing coordinated attack, you're basically getting like 4 times, maybe 5 times the amount of stacks compared to just doing any damage. And this means you really have to put characters with coordination attack into your parties. Character like Yinlin, character like Yanbu, character like Verena. And so your choice is a lot more limiting. Please know that you can't put the same element coordinated attack together. It doesn't work because one element can only get 1 stack at a time. So if you do Yinlin and Yanbu together, it's true that they both have all field attack, which is really good, but you only get stacks from one of them. So this pairing also doesn't work. You could do Verena plus Yinlin, and from my understanding, this is her best team by far, which is a complete 5-star team. So this is extremely demanding in terms of the character you have. If you don't have Yinlin, you can use, again, like Yanbu or like Morphe character with coordinated attack. But again, your choice is so much more limited. Plus, these characters just don't really buff JinHsi in a meaningful way, where at least for Yinlin, she still do Resonance Liberation damage amplify. Perfect. You want to make sure that you're attacking exactly enough on each of your teammate and your support of your character to be building stacks. And more importantly is that your energy requirement on your teammate is also just as high. You need to make sure that you have Verena ult on every single rotation because, well, in case you didn't know or you forgot, Verena ult perform coordination attack for the photosynthesis. When it comes down to doing your personal rotation on JinHsi, I have a pretty easy time. She's pretty straightforward to play, her attack are pretty short, and most importantly, they have very long range and very big AoE range. But it's really that I have to make sure I'm getting through my entire team perfectly that's really get to me. You know, what happened if your teammate doesn't have ultimate on like Verena? What happened if you're not doing your yin and rotation perfectly and stuff like that? And of course, as always, this is on top of the random pattern that the boss will do, which could essentially like completely screw up your pattern on your team rotation. Getting stacks is extremely important, which is why you want to make sure you're rotating through properly, because each stacks will apply a 32.6 additional multiplier for you, assuming your skill is at level 6. And you can see the base damage is actually extremely low, so it's only when you get all 50 stacks that you can dish out that massive laser damage. This means that every single team is going to play a little differently, it's going to have a different rotation. For example, when I was trying it with my Yanwu, by the way, this Yanwu have completely no gear, I would tend to switch to Yanwu first to make sure that I can drop his pillar to start getting those stacks. Her damage also seems to be really good. With the only characters doing damage into my party, I was still able to reliably basically beat down high level bosses within a respectable amount of time, so that has been going pretty well for me as well. With all of those being said, I think her animation is definitely a massive power creep. Her animation is incredibly satisfying compared to any characters we have in the game right now, and I absolutely can't wait to see what they're gonna build up with more Gen 2 unit. Surprisingly, I actually don't have a lot of negative comment to say about this character. I actually think this character is extremely satisfying to play, it's extremely well designed, and extremely good to play. And it's relatively simple while doing really high damage. So I actually really like this character. I'm actually surprised by that element myself as well. I think my biggest complaint about this character is that she's relatively demanding in terms of her teammates. You know, I'm playing Yinlin, Verena, which are limited 5-star characters, and another standard 5-star that want to be in every single team. And so the question is, what happens when you don't have these characters? Is she still going to perform in teams that don't have these characters? And I think that we need some time to see. I need more time to test out every single characters. But for now, with my Verena team, for my Yinlin team, I honestly don't have any problem with this character. I think this character is incredibly good, and I feel like if you like her design, would I recommend this character right now? Absolutely. I think this character is really good. She has really good AoE range, she has really good AoE coverage, while still doing that quick short succession burst for bosses. I'll be really perfectly honest, I don't want to overhype this character too much, other than the clickbait factor of saying she's a power creep in terms of animation. So I'm constantly trying to look for a factor of why I don't like her, and it's not because I hate her or anything. I'm trying to look for a reason why I wouldn't like this character to ensure that I am not overhyping this character and saying like, oh, she's the best, she's the greatest. I'm like trying to look for a reason why I think this character might have issues like team rotation, so that I'm making sure like I'm being as neutral as possible. And even then, my really honest opinion right now is like, I think this character is really good. I haven't really seen any like major flaw with her, and it'll only get better as we figure out better rotation and better team comp and stuff like that and stuff. So yeah, I really want to say this character is really good, but oh man, that's such a hard word to say, because what if people pull for these characters and then they're not that good after, right? So, but yeah, I don't know, I think I'll leave it there for now. This is again, my first impression. Subscribe for the hopefully more meta take in a week when people have more stuff figured out, like a better rotation, better combo and stuff like that. Maybe there's a secret echo we can use other than the Drew new boss echo. With that being said, as always, thanks for watching. Subscribe for more meta takes, well, casual takes. I'm a casual now. Thanks for watching. Bye.